Imagine a world thousands of years ago where power wasn't just inherited, but embodied. A world where the divine mingled with the mortal and rulers were seen as living gods. Now, imagine that world, suddenly, confronted with a shift so profound, it challenged the very fabric of its patriarchal traditions. This is the story of Hatshepsut, a woman who dared to stand in the sun as Pharaoh of Ancient Egypt. Not merely a queen, not a regent in the shadows, but a full-fledged ruler, wielding the crook and flail, even adorning the ceremonial false beard. Her reign, spanning over 2 decades in the 15th century BCE, was a beacon of prosperity and peace, a golden age that defied expectations and etched her name into the annals of history, only to have it nearly erased. Born a princess, daughter of the formidable Thutmose the Fern and Queen Amoza, Hatshepsut was destined for a life of privilege, but not necessarily one of ultimate power. Ancient Egypt, for all its advancements, was fundamentally a man's world when it came to the throne. Yet, from a young age, Hatshepsut exhibited a sharp intellect and an ambition that set her apart. She was educated in the intricacies of court, the wisdom of the gods, and the art of governance, training usually reserved for a male heir. The stage for her unprecedented rise was set by tragedy. Her father, Thutmose I, a great warrior king, passed, leaving the throne to her half-brother and husband, Thutmose II. Their union was common for royalty, ensuring a pure bloodline. But Thutmose II's reign was brief, and he left behind a young son, Thutmose III, by a lesser wife. And so, Hatshepsut stepped forward, not as a grieving widow, but as regent, the guardian of a boy king entrusted with the welfare of an entire nation. For a few years, she ruled in the name of her stepson, managing the affairs of state with undeniable competence. But a regent is a temporary role, a placeholder. Hatshepsut, however, had a different vision. She saw the potential, felt the strength within her, and understood the needs of Egypt. And so, in an act of audacious courage, she did the unthinkable. She declared herself pharaoh. This wasn't a casual decision. To legitimize her claim, Hatshepsut expertly navigated the religious and political landscape. She wove a powerful narrative, proclaiming herself the direct daughter of the god Amun-Re, affirming her divine right to rule. This was a masterstroke, a brilliant piece of ancient propaganda that resonated deeply with the Egyptian psyche. She wasn't just a woman taking power, she was fulfilling a sacred prophecy. With her authority solidified, Hatshepsut ushered in an era of unprecedented prosperity. Her reign wasn't marked by endless wars, but by ambitious building projects that transformed the landscape of Egypt. Think of it like this. If ancient Egypt was a canvas, Hatshepsut was its most prolific and visionary artist. Her crowning architectural achievement, the mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, known as Djeser-Djeseru, the Holy of Holies, stands as a testament to her vision. Carved into the cliffs, its terraced design and intricate reliefs were unlike anything seen before, celebrating her divine birth, her achievements, and most famously, her grand expedition to the mystical land of Punt. Ah, Punt. For centuries, this fabled land, rich in exotic goods, had been a distant dream. But Hatshepsut, ever the innovator, turned that dream into reality. She organized a massive maritime expedition, a fleet of ships laden with Egyptian goods, sailing to a land often associated with modern-day Eritrea or Somalia. They returned with treasures, frankincense, myrrh trees, live trees, a feat of ancient horticulture, ebony, ivory, gold, and even exotic animals. This wasn't just about wealth, it was about reestablishing vital trade networks that had been disrupted, bringing economic stability and prestige back to Egypt. It was a diplomatic triumph, a testament to her peaceful yet powerful foreign policy. Hatshepsut surrounded herself with loyal and capable officials, none more prominent than Senenmut, her chief steward and architect, whose precise relationship with the queen remains a subject of fascinating debate among Egyptologists. Their collaboration further exemplifies her astute leadership, choosing talent and loyalty regardless of traditional hierarchies. She appointed him to numerous high-ranking positions, entrusting him with monumental tasks, from overseeing her building projects to educating her daughter, Neferur. Yet, despite her undeniable success, her story took a dark turn. After her death, roughly 2 decades into her reign, a systematic campaign began to erase her from history. Her images were chiseled from monuments. Her cartouches, the oval enclosures containing a pharaoh's name, were hacked away. For centuries, Egyptologists puzzled over this seemingly vindictive act. Was it Thutmose III, her stepson, finally retaliating for being overshadowed? Modern scholarship suggests a more complex answer. While Thutmose III did embark on his own formidable reign, establishing himself as a great warrior king, the erasure of Hatshepsut's memory likely occurred years after her death, perhaps during the reign of his son, Amenhotep II. The most compelling theory points not to personal vendetta, but to a desire to restore a traditional, male-dominated succession. Hatshepsut's unprecedented rule, while successful, might have been seen as a dangerous precedent, a crack in the carefully constructed edifice of pharaonic power. By removing her from the official records, they sought to prevent future women from daring to ascend the throne. But history, like the shifting sands of the desert, eventually reveals its truths. Despite the attempts to silence her, Hatshepsut's legacy endured. The sheer scale and magnificence of her constructions, too grand to be completely destroyed, spoke volumes. Archaeologists, over the centuries, painstakingly pieced together the fragments of her story, uncovering her statues, deciphering her inscriptions, and ultimately identifying her mummy. Queen Hatshepsut. She was a woman who not only shattered the bronze ceiling of her time, but rebuilt the foundations of her nation. She reminded ancient Egypt, and indeed reminds us today, that leadership transcends gender, that true power lies not just in might, but in vision, in diplomacy, in the pursuit of peace, and in leaving behind a legacy that even the most determined efforts to erase ultimately fail. Her story is a timeless echo, a powerful testament to the woman who dared to wear the crown of the 2 lands, and in doing so, forever changed the course of history.